Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for October 22nd, 2018. Can I have a motion to go into executive session for the matters pertaining to the employment history of particular individuals and contractual negotiations?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Can I have a motion to go back into public session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good evening. Welcome to the Yorktown Central School District Board of Education meeting for October 22nd, 2018. Can we please stand by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Tori Lopez and then remain standing for a moment of silence for our armed forces and those in our community who have lost loved ones, especially remembering the father-in-law of Mark Pavella. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Good evening. Welcome. Sorry, we're starting a little late. We're going to start with public comment. Is there anybody wishing to speak on agenda-related items? Okay, no, Ron, I will turn it over to you then.
All right, what a wonderful evening we have ahead of us. We're honoring our Board of Education as part of Board of Education Recognition Week and Recognition Month. We'll give you an entire month of October. Before we do that, we have some very special guests joining us, and we'd like to take a moment to honor one of our outstanding young students. And to do that, before I welcome Melissa Carforo to the stage, I'd like to welcome Board of Education President of the Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, Mr. Richard Krebs, and Assistant Superintendent Dr. Lynn Allen. Welcome to Yorktown. This evening, we'll be honoring one of our wonderful students, Ryan Bynes, who is being recognized as the Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES Student of Distinction for his outstanding leadership skills, academic initiative, and community spirit. At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Melissa Carforo to the podium. She is the Supervisor of Local School Building Programs at Putnam Northern BOCES.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of all of us at Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, I would like to thank the Yorktown Board of Education and Administration for inviting us here this evening for a very special presentation. While we'd like to think that all of our students are worthy of being recognized as students of distinction, tonight this honor belongs to Ryan Bynes, who attends our BOCES program at Lincoln Titus Elementary School, one of our local school building programs. I'd like to introduce Lena Duranco, Ryan's teacher, who will talk about this impressive young man and why he's being recognized tonight.
Hello. I am pleased to announce Ryan Bynes as the recipient of the Student of Distinction Award. Ryan has demonstrated a significant amount of progress academically and socially. He has increased frustration tolerance, improved work ethic, and has become more respectful to staff and peers. Ryan has demonstrated outstanding achievements and remarkable personal growth. Congratulations, Ryan.
If Mr. Rick Krebs, President of Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES Board of Education, and Dr. Hatter, please come up to present his awards.
On behalf of Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES, Student of Distinction, September 2018, this certificate is awarded to Ryan Burns in recognition for your outstanding leadership, skills, academic progress, and community spirit. Congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you. I also want to acknowledge Dr. Shelley Fleischman in the audience, Director of Special Education at Putnam Northern Westchester BOCES. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. At this time, I am going to take a moment to just let our community know that tonight we're recognizing a wonderful, wonderful Board of Education that puts the work of teaching and learning at the forefront of everything that they do. And I'm just so humbled and honored to be working with such a committed group of individuals, a committed group of volunteers. I know nothing makes our board happier than seeing our students in action and seeing our students working and seeing our students learning and growing. This evening, under the direction of our chorus director, Andrea Stock, I would just like to invite our choral students up to present a couple of musical pieces to you. Welcome, Mrs. Stock and your students. Should they face us?
Old Abram Brown is dead and gone. Old Abram Brown is dead.
That was amazing. Wow. Wow. Mrs. Stock, I just want to commend you and your students. Mrs. Stock, I don't know if you hear me in the back. I just want to commend you and your students. That was absolutely wonderful. I'm sitting here just amazed by the repertoire and how beautifully they sounded. Very well done. Very well done. On behalf of the district office team, our administrators, faculty, and staff, we say thank you to our wonderful Board of Education. In my experience with this board, I'm so genuinely impressed by the profound commitment of our board to the children of Yorktown and to the broader community. Our Board of Education volunteers countless hours each month. It's far more than the 2 meetings that you see televised each month. There are committees that they work on. There are events that they attend. There are so many meetings and emails and conversations and documents for their review in their role in the school board, in school district governance. And they support the wonderful programs such as our choral program throughout the district, and they support policies that reflect what is in the best interest of students and the district. We celebrate the Board Recognition Week in October, but our gratitude extends year-round. As a token of our gratitude, what is in the bags on the table is something that I think you'll enjoy. You're welcome to take a look at them. They are personalized for you, well, customized for you, not necessarily personalized for you. As you know, early in the school year, we set out on this all-in journey, and we had John Paul Gonzalez of the New York Giants talk to us about being all in and what it means to be all in. And we've certainly made the commitment to be all in as a school district. And on the sleeve of the shirt, there is the hashtag all in inscribed on the shirt, just as a reminder. And I also thank Mr. Barrett because he spearheaded. It was his idea to kind of move forward with this idea. And Yvette, thank you for coordinating all the details and logistics behind it.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
With every hour that you volunteer in service to the children of Yorktown, you have the potential of returning some of the wonderful, wonderful programs and contributions from our students to our students. You're so supportive of our work and you're supportive of our students. And this evening, we honor you. We say thank you because you give of your time. You don't have to do this work, and you do, and it's so profoundly appreciated. So this evening, I'd like to also, and we have so many items on the agenda, so I just want to ensure that we get to all of the items. So what I'd like to do at this time is just take a very quick transition over, and then we'll come back to one other item in the superintendent's report, or 2 other items in the superintendent's report. And I see Ms. Alexandra Battaglia here with R.S. Abrams, so certainly that's, we'll transition to your presentation that we're looking forward to. But before we do that, we have the high school here to present their good news presentation. And Joe DeGennaro, our high school principal, is here, and I will turn the podium over to Joe to introduce our presenters this evening.
Thanks, Dr. Hatter. It's always a pleasure to be here to show you the wonderful things that are going on at the high school. Good evening, Mrs. O'Shea, Mr. Cole, and President Jackie Carbone, and the entire board. And congratulations for being honored. We so appreciate all the great work that the school board does during the entire year for us and give us the support that we need at the building level. So thank you. And congratulations. So I have the honor of turning over to 3 teachers who have vision and passion to bring new programs to the high school. So I'm so appreciative of the great work that they do. And I'd like to introduce Ms. Siliberto, Mr. Salmore, and Ms. Guzak to talk to you about 3 new classes that are here at the high school this year. So come on up and join me.
I don't like my voice in microphone, so we'll see. All right, so I'm Ms. Guzak. I teach social studies here at the high school, and this year I'm teaching AP Psychology. For the past about 10 years, I taught a psychology elective, and it was great. And the kids got a really good overview of what psychology was, but me and the kids all wanted a deeper and more challenging course, and that's finally what we have with AP Psych. So I'm just going to put it up here for you guys to see. That is the definition from AP Psychology. I'm not used to talking behind a podium. I feel like I need to move around. So it is the study of the human mind and behavior, psychology in general. So AP Psychology does just that. The first unit that we did was the biology of the brain, which is totally out of my comfort zone, but it was great because I was learning it along with the kids. I also got to tap into our biology department. We also did a unit on statistics, so I got to tap into the math department. And the kids, it was really great because it expanded what their view of psychology was. It's not just theory, it's not just on how we behave, but there's a lot more to it, a lot more science to it. And I think it was really a good overview for the kids to see that before we get into the real theories of psychology. We have 2 sections running this year, so both with 30 students in it. There was actually a wait list, and we could only allow seniors in because it was such a popular course. So right now we had a couple seniors drop. They realized that it's a lot harder than they thought it was going to be. So we're about 27 kids in each section, all very enthusiastic, all very interested in the subject. And a lot of them are planning on majoring in something related to the field. It's really great because most students are going to have to take some type of intro to psychology no matter what your major in. So my goal is kind of getting them to get that credit while they're here, to get that 3, 4, and hopefully the 5s on that AP exam. So then they can get that intro to psych done with before they even get to whatever universities they go on to after this. It is all seniors, which is really nice. It's a really nice dynamic. By the time they get to senior year, they're not in many courses with just seniors, so it is nice that they're there together. And because the essence of the class is really about sharing and talking, and it's very much student-led, so they're allowed to do experiments and do things where they can kind of be a little bit more free than they are maybe in their other classes to share what is on their mind and what they're thinking and how this relates to their life. So they take multiple choice exams. The end of the year, the AP exam is 100 multiple choice questions. There's 493 terms that they're expected to know by the end of this year. So that's a lot. So we're going to have the multiple choice test. They have FRQs, which are just short answers, that they're going to have to do 2 of those on their AP exam. And then, of course, we have a lot of projects as well, kind of getting that piece of them getting involved and them being interested in it. This is just, I'm just not going to go through all of these, but I just wanted you guys to see what units we cover. It's a lot. So that's the first units that I was just talking about. It's more of the research, the biological basis of this behavior, and how that then jumps into what psychology is, what the theories are, and why we have those theories. So I'm really enjoying it. And I think the kids are as well. So at least I hope they are, and I hope they're saying good things out there. But it's one of those courses that in a lot of other schools, they're now getting like 5 or 6 sections. So I just see this course growing, which is great. So thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Mike Salmore. I've been here for 17 years teaching science, and I want to go over a great new class that we've started this year, tell you a little bit about it. I'm going to be brief, but it is really a wonderful class, and I love the challenge of teaching it. The course is eSTEAM Discovery, and it's a semester course, and it's based in scientific research and engineering. We have 3 sections this year, so we have 2 right now, and then we have 1 the second semester. It's presently open to 9th and 10th graders. It's mostly 9th graders, but we're trying to expand it in the future to 10th graders also. It's based on our science research class, so it's a modified version of science research. We used to call it science discovery. It's a freshman, which was a freshman class to help them get into the sophomore, junior science research program. Our students basically research science advancements. They go through publications, through the internet, and they do a lot of research. And then hopefully they move on to our science research class if they choose. They don't have to. They're welcome to take the class and walk away, or they're welcome to move on. It gives them a little bit of a foundation. Basically, the class is research, design, and present real-world solutions to worldwide problems. We start that way. We start global. The students do the research, they design things, and they present worldwide solutions. We then sort of start to pare it down. We pare it down to community problems. Again, they'll look at the community, research, design, and present solutions to our community. And finally, we want them to bring it into the classroom on the personal level. We want them to look at their own classroom, their own families, their own problems, and research it, design, and present solutions to the problems that they deal with every day around them. So the difference is it's research and design with a slant towards empathy. So we include that component, which is a little bit different than what we had before. So we look at the research, and basically empathy is innate. You're born with it. It's something like a muscle. That's the way I sort of describe it. And like a muscle, you have to really stimulate it. You have to exercise it. Otherwise, it won't grow. And you really have to work on it and practicing. And again, the other way, it could be stifled. If you don't work on it, it could wither away. And it could slide away, and you could not improve on it. So what we try to do is we try to sort of bend the needle. We try to sort of make them go towards the Mother Teresa side of empathy, and that's sort of our goal. Ultimately, we want to take it to the next level, where empathy is, feeling other people's suffering. The next step is maybe to pass it on to compassion and actually relieving other people's suffering. So that's the class. It's new, and we're working on it. I am really, really super excited about doing it and trying it out. And hopefully the kids are enjoying it, and I know they are so far, and I look forward to continuing. So thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Sorry. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Jamie Siliberto, and I teach Husker Discovery. So I was previously the health teacher, and now I've moved on to Husker Discovery, which is very similar to health in a lot of ways, but also very different. I just wanted to start off by thanking you guys so much for passing my course, because this has been made a huge difference in my life, and I really, truly believe that we are touching the lives of our students by teaching them this course. You guys probably remember me. It was not that long ago that I was here talking in front of you about our Steps A curriculum. We were doing a pilot of a 5-week course, and since it has become our semester-long freshman course, every day in class, we start with a mindfulness activity, and mindfulness is really important to teach our kids, because I think that a lot of people get caught up in the word mindfulness, and they think that it means stress relief, and that at the beginning of every class, we're going to do something that relieves their stress, and that is not exactly what mindfulness is. So what mindfulness teaches them is to be focused on one thing at a time, and if you guys have ever been at Yorktown High School at the end of the year when the Regents exams are taking place, you know that the students have a lot that's going to distract them during the Regents exams. They are hot, they're sticking to chairs, there are teachers walking around the room, the fans blow their papers everywhere, there are students getting up to go to the bathroom, all the while they have to focus on taking this test that is timed, and it is stressful. What I'm teaching them every day is to push out all of those other distractions and to focus on the task at hand in taking their test. They're already showing strong improvements in their abilities to focus, because whereas they were not really being able to focus on what I was asking them in the beginning of the year, they are really able to do that now. And it's only been a few short weeks that we've been doing this, so I'm incredibly proud of their progress. Have you guys been following me on Twitter? I am loving Twitter. So everything that we do in class, I try to relate to Twitter. And one of the things that I'm trying to teach the students is digital citizenship and how to be a good citizen online. I'm utilizing Twitter to do that. So I try and have them do a couple assignments here and there where they have to actually post to Twitter, and they have to spell everything correctly, and their grammar has to be correct, and they have to capitalize and use punctuation and things like that. And they also have to be incredibly positive. So they're doing current event articles where they have to find something positive that's happening in the United States, and they have to tweet about it. So it's one of the things that I'm really enjoying in the class that I really do feel is bringing positivity to their lives. I hear them talking about their current event articles and some of these really cool things that are happening around our country. My curriculum really focuses on two things. It's their academic success, and it's their social emotional success. So I'm teaching them things that they're going to need to know for high school, like how not to plagiarize, and how to paraphrase, and how to write an essay and cite their sources, and things like that. I'm also teaching them about how to deal outside of class with the emotional things that are happening around them. So they're learning the skills from the Steps 8 curriculum that we piloted last year. I gave you guys a handout. It says the skills for faculty, and it is all of the skills that the students are going to be learning this year. So there's 2.5 pages of skills that they can implement in their lives to help deal with some of the emotional situations that are going on. I've had multiple meetings for students this year where they've had some either behavioral issues in class or emotional issues in class or outside of class, and I have offered them specific skills that they can implement, and they have proven to be successful, and it's only been a few short weeks. I've been giving a lot of long-term homework because I feel like it's a great opportunity to teach the kids about time management. So I have given 3 main assignments that aren't due until January, and the students have to manage their time and make sure they're accomplishing things before January comes. So one of the things that I love is that I'm doing this student involvement project where I'm asking them to go to 2 Yorktown events, so Yorktown High School events, and attend 1 club. I want them in their freshman year to really get involved and hopefully stay involved in the things that they're doing. And it's amazing, most of the students have already attended their Yorktown events and have already submitted their forms saying that they've attended. They've also been checking out a variety of clubs and have been talking to each other about them. So there's a lot of excitement about the clubs at Yorktown. I'm also collaborating with the Skills and Achievement class, previously called Life Skills, and the Husker Discovery students are going and reaching out to the Skills and Achievement kids, and they're attending some of their classes or after-school activities. And it's really just to socialize and to learn a little bit more about somebody they didn't know before and some different struggles that they might not have even known existed. And the whole goal there is to maybe change the dynamics of Yorktown High School hallways, and maybe in 4 years when the Skills and Achievement kids know everybody that passes their way in the high school, they'll be able to say hi in the hallways and really build friendships and socialize more, as will my kids understand a little bit different of an experience. So I have been doing a ton of collaboration because while I would like to tell you guys, and sometimes I do tell my husband that I know everything, I don't believe that I do. So I've been collaborating with so many people throughout Yorktown, and it has been an amazing experience. These are just some of the people that I've collaborated with. I'd like to highlight Terry Studel in the library, this amazing library. We're going to be doing a scavenger hunt in here, and this is going to be how the students learn about their resources in the high school. And then there are so many other opportunities they will have to learn empathy. I am going to be giving them research projects that they're going to use their resources from the library to learn more about other countries and some of the amazing programs that are going on, like Mind Leaps, where they teach dance to explain structure and then have students learn in a more structured environment. That's something that's happening in Africa. So we're going to be teaching them things like that and learning more on a global level of some of the things going on around the world so that hopefully they can bring it back home. And one of my favorite projects coming up is the Teaching Empathy Project, and that's really about their teachers at Yorktown High School and learning a little bit more, humanizing them a little bit, and knowing that we don't just, sleep at school and are here for them. We also have lives, and sometimes it's hard for us to wake up, and sometimes it's hard for us to be there for them, and that sometimes, we appreciate them appreciating us a little bit more too. So, thank you so much.
Thank you to Mrs. Gusak, Mr. Salmore, and Mrs. Siliberti. Thank you so much for coming out to present. We appreciate you sharing your courses. They sound so exciting, and I've heard so many wonderful things, and I've seen so many wonderful things that you're doing with our students. So I commend you for all of your efforts for building these courses from the ground up. It's not an easy task to take on, and I really appreciate you doing that. It perfectly dovetails into our board recognition ceremony. The board has demonstrated their commitment to the concept of esteem. You've demonstrated your commitment to social emotional learning, and you've demonstrated your commitment to our high school. And these courses reflect your commitment to our district. So we thank you for your support in ensuring that these programs really get off the ground and ensuring that the administration has the support to deliver and develop the programs. So as just a final piece of our Board of Education recognition, I'd like to call Mr. Ron Fideli to the podium. Mr. Fideli is the president of our district PTSA, and he would like to just say a few words to acknowledge you as well.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hatter. First and foremost, I cannot thank the 7 members of our Board of Education for the countless hours that you volunteer to direct our district. And as Dr. Hatter has, patented this year, I think I'm all in also. I'm very proud to tell anyone that my sons are in the Yorktown district because I can see what's happening. I see it evolving, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful direction that we're going in. So we thank you. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to thank you on behalf of the district level PTAs. And, I just tell a little story. My little son Vincenzo sitting over there, for PTA, we're a family affair, so you get us all. And at whatever level we're at, we're all together. My wife Stephanie, my son Dominic, who's in 6th grade, and Vincenzo. I was explaining to him what the Board of Education does. And, he calls Dr. Hatter the big boss. And I was saying how the Board of Education actually is really steering the ship. And he's like, well, they're very important. I said, yes, they are. And he said, I told him I have the honor of, giving a little gift to them. He's like, we need to buy them Lamborghinis.
All right.
So I explained to him that in our budget line, we really didn't have enough for Lamborghinis. So, so we brainstormed and we tried to figure out what would be an appropriate gift. So can you guys go get and help hand out what they actually decided to come together for? And, I am Italian, so, a little treat is always appreciated.
Thank you.
I do have to give a shout out to, if it's okay, KER at Mohansick, Mrs. Ratella, Mrs. Broder. That's Vincenzo's teacher. And Timo is Dominic's, and Timo at
Thank you so
Vincenzo.
Thank you.
He's a paisan.
Oh, that's heavy. I know. That's unbelievable.
But
Yeah.
again, when we were thinking about what we could, give as a gift, we know how much sacrifice you make and how much your friends and families make as a sacrifice to share your time with us. So we figured if you choose to, you can share some of these treats with your family, your friends, whoever else, or you could just take them home and hide them, what I usually do when I get a gift of food. So that.
Thank you.
But again, enjoy. We can't thank you enough for all your countless hours.
Thank you. That's so nice.
But again, on behalf of the District Council of PTSAs, thank you so much for all your time.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you very much. And we want to thank the PTA because you're a great partner to us, too. We can't do what we do without you guys, so thank you.
It's a wonderful relationship.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
And we did shirts?
We got food.
I don't know which one's better.
Can I move this?
Shirts?
These are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Wow. Really nice.
I know. Rob, are you taking note? So Rob Barrett just joined us. He was on the field. We, as you know, we had a playoff game going on. Rob coordinated the ordering of the shirts and
Thank you.
did that. So Rob, thank you for doing that.
Thank
Just
you.
wanted to acknowledge your efforts in that regard while you were here.
I wanted to
Please.
say something to the high school. I love your new classes, your new courses. I love that they're
Yes.
all based around empathy and esteem, and that you've built on some of the questions we asked you last year. So thank you so much for taking the ball and running with it. I really appreciate what you're doing. Anybody else want to add anything?
Yeah, I do.
Go ahead.
I do. I gotta. So I love Vincenzo, by the way. I gotta tell you, and thank you. But I love all the high school team. That was fantastic. The Huskers Discovery. Also, can I ask a question, or am I allowed to do that? I know I am, though. So is that in place of health, or can it replace health?
No. So health is still a requirement for graduation, and sophomores will still take health. freshmen are taking Husker Discovery, and although there are some similarities in the two courses, there is absolutely no way we could cover all of the
But
requirements.
will it fulfill the requirement? Husker Discovery, like
No.
you have to take, you know what I mean? No, it doesn't?
No,
Thank you.
so it will
Oh,
fulfill
I
the
see.
requirements for the social emotional learning, which is the other handout that I gave you guys. So we are complying with the state, but we are, yeah. It
And
will
how do you
not take-
coordinate with life skills?
I'm sorry?
You coordinate with life skills
Yes.
also? How do you do that?
So my students, the Husker Discovery kids, push into the skills and achievement classes. So whether it's during the day or during their after-school activities, I have usually about 3 kids at a time attend something, and it's more about the social experience of existing with people who they might not get the chance to see on an everyday basis.
Oh,
So,
well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well
I
done. Thank you.
appreciate that.
So one of my experiences last week, I was there when some of the students from the Husker Discovery Program pushed into our course, and they were building pumpkin launchers. And to see the students working together to build pumpkin launchers was absolutely wonderful, and they're measuring the distance that the
Oh,
pumpkin
like a
traveled.
catapult type thing?
It was, yes, it was unbelievable. I didn't bring one with me, but maybe that will be
I'd
a
like to see
superintendent
that.
showcase in the near future. That was a
would be
lot
fun.
of fun.
Okay.
That was a lot
My
of fun.
students love that experience, and something that they can do if they enjoy their experience pushing in for my class, they can apply to be a helper with the Skills and Achievement class to help with the Pioneer Games and with the Circle of Friends Club. And we have a few applications of students who want to continue with the program, so it's really wonderful.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate you taking the time and your thoughtful presentation to give us a glimpse into your courses and to give our community a glimpse into the courses that you've developed. Wonderful job.
And thank you for welcoming us to your house. We're in the high school library today. We didn't even tell the
That's right.
So
the
thank
new
you.
design.
Yeah, well, it could be with the flags.
So at this point in time, I'd like to turn the program over to the presentation from our external auditors. Reshmi Bose is the chair of the district's audit committee. Reshmi, would you like to introduce Alexandria Battaglia? Or shall I? I'm happy to as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Alexandra Battaglia is here. She is a managing partner with R.S. Abrams. That's our external auditing firm, and she is here with us. She also has met with the audit committee, again chaired by Ms. Bose, and Alexandra will present to us the year-end financials for the district.
Okay, good evening. Yes, I'm Ali Battaglia from R.S. Abrams and Company. I did meet with the audit committee and discussed in detail the financial statements as well as all the communication letters. I'm just going to give you some brief financial highlights that we did discuss in the audit committee meeting. I like to say there's basically 2 sets of financials. There's one that's on your modified accrual basis, which is more short-term in nature, and that's your operating budget and limited to the 4%. We go ahead and then convert that into accrual basis of accounting, which is your GASB statements. So part of your GASB statements, that's more long-term in nature, so you have all your long-term liabilities or your long-term assets booked onto the district-wide financial statements. There was a new GASB that was implemented this year by the district. It's GASB statement number 75, which is your other post-employment benefits obligation. It's your retirees' health insurance. The district hires their own actuary to come up with this long-term analysis to put onto the district-wide financials. With GASB 45, we've been taking that liability and just amortizing it over 30 years and taking an increase each year. What 75 does is replaces 45, so therefore the total liability is now onto the district-wide financial statements. So it did make a major impact to the financial statements since New York State school districts cannot fund this. There's no reserve allowed to fund this liability. So that was something new this year, and we looked at how it impacted the financial statements. As for the fund level, so that's your operating budget limited to the 4%, we did discuss in detail your reserves and your fund balance. I know that the district does have a plan in place and looks at those reserves every year to make sure that they're on target. So the district does have a plan in place. We did discuss that you're at the 4%, which is your maximum allowed, which we're very happy to see. We did notice that we were discussing that you do actually have a tight budget. You're at the 2% mark left over from your budget. So yes, you do have a tight budget and always refining that as well. We did issue an unmodified opinion In auditor's language, we call it a clean opinion, which is the best opinion that you can receive. I'm happy to report that there was no material weaknesses. We did have some recommendations to improve the district's internal controls, and the district has implemented a corrective action plan, which is already on target to implement our recommendations. It was our first year of auditors in the district. I wanted to say I'm very happy that it went smoothly. Sometimes you don't know the first year, but I really wanted to thank Tom and Alicia for working together as a team, and I think it was a group effort that we got the financial statements done in a timely fashion. And at this time, I would like to take any questions if you have any.
Just one comment. I know you commented that our budget's tight at 98%, but we've always trusted Tom, and we've always felt that one of the things that was important in this district was to be mindful of the taxpayers. So we try to run a tight budget specifically so that we're not overtaxing our taxpayers. Is that a correct assessment, Tom?
It is. I think through both the audit committee that is chaired by Reshmi Bose and the financial advisory committee chaired by Mike Mignani, we try to stay in touch as much as possible, and we're satisfied that our reserves are healthy enough to allow us to react to anything that might be a budgetary pressure that was unseen. So we're pretty comfortable at this point.
Right. Did anybody have any questions?
No.
Then I'll ask mine. I think one of your comments was with our extra class or activity funds, which is a comment we've got year after year. It's very difficult for us because we're relying on students, which it's new to them. They don't always have the same financial beliefs that we have. And I know Tom has worked really hard. I don't know if there's much more we can do to make them more compliant.
Well, we intend to, we appreciated the comments from the external auditors, and we too share the sentiment that they did a wonderful job, and we're really happy with the transition, as seamless as it was. But we also recently had an intensive internal audit review of the extra classroom between.
We're so tight.
We good? Okay.
We don't have electricity for the whole meeting.
It's because of the 2%, right?
Keeping it tight.
I want to thank you, though. I know coming to a new district's not easy. We are very proud of our business office staff. They work very hard, and we have trusted them, and they've never led us astray. So thank you very much for working with them. Reshmi, thank you for your hard work with the audit committee.
Trust but verify, let's be clear.
We do verify, but you know what? Tom hasn't led us astray.
Right,
so we
and
know
also
that.
just to have extra classroom comments, I think that shows the district how well they are run like a oiled machine, that they have the proper, segregation of duties and all the internal controls that related. So just to have extra classroom, I usually have that at every school district, so I'm not shocked by that, and I think that shows to them.
Good.
Thank
you.
I just wanted to thank, Tom, Alicia, and Ron, at our end for just staying on top of everything and staying in constant touch with our auditors, both, internal and external. And Ms. Battaglia, I hope we haven't scared you too much. I know she's weathered a very torrential downpour to, make us.
I was happy it wasn't raining today.
Yes, meeting with us, and so this little light outage is nothing, right?
That's fine. That's fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last time, and now it's power outages.
Right, right.
Welcome to Yorktown.
It's a great place, it really is.
That's fine. That's fine.
So please hang in there with us.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
evening.
All right, Ron. What are we up to now? We're up to our education report. Lisa, you think you can get through it with the power?
This is going to be very quick. Hi, everybody. I just want to spend a couple of minutes, just giving you two curriculum updates that I thought would be important for you to know. One is our K-5 math resource exploration that we're undertaking right now, and another is a new initiative that we started called Snow Day Assignments. So I'll start with the math piece first. We can't talk about math in Yorktown School District without recognizing Mary Froats, who is a wonderful asset to us in all ways. Mary is here tonight. Mary, as you know, is a longstanding math teacher at Yorktown High School, and for the past 10 years, she's also worked as our curriculum coach in the district. As such, she's been involved in every aspect of the K-5 math curriculum for 10 years? 10 years. Okay. So I know that the board is aware that over the last 6, 7 years, we've had a transition of standards in all of our content areas from the State Education Department. And I wanted to highlight just where we are right now with math standards in the state. In 2012-13, that was the implementation of the Common Core Learning Standards, which really focused on coherence and expanded rigor in our curriculum for all of our students. And we really wanted our students, the state really wanted the students to build a greater understanding of math. In 2015, revisions were made to the Common Core Learning Standards, and those revisions were based on educator feedback. The state really involved many stakeholders in revising those Common Core standards. And then in 2017, after an entire revision process, we now have what's called the Next Generation Math Standards. And there were some additions that were made, some consolidations to the Common Core. There was some vertical movement of various topics. There was a glossary of verbs added to the standards. And these standards really were designed to help students be prepared to understand math in a world where math is such a big part of everything they're going to be involved in doing. For those of you who have been involved in the district for a long time, you may remember that in 2009, we began using the Investigations program as our primary math resource. When you think back to 2009, that's our current 11th graders were second graders when we started this program with them back then. So they've been involved in this Investigations program from the beginning. And the purpose of going to Investigations at that time was really to look for a resource that would help our students think about math critically, not just rote aspects of math, but to really look critically. That was such a big investment for us at that time. And since then, in the 8 or 9 years since then, you'll see that all of the curriculum and all of the standards from the state changed. That didn't mean that we stayed embedded in what we were doing in the 2009 version of the Investigations at K-5. We really looked at all of the changing standards and how we could modify our curriculum and our teaching that we were doing with our students. And that effort was largely done by Mary through grade level meetings, through summer curriculum work, through opportunities for vertical and horizontal alignment. We embedded some of the Engage modules. We looked for other resources that we can pull in. So even though we were using as a primary resource a program from 2009, our curriculum never was stagnant. It continued to change and grow to reflect all of the revisions in the standards. So now as we've been using that program for quite some time, and we've embedded our own curriculum along with it, and we have resources in place that we feel very strongly that our students are doing what they need to be doing in math, we thought it would be time to say, is there something else out there that can be a primary resource for us? So in the spring of 2018, we developed a representative group of K-5 committee members to explore other possible programs to be our main resource. After researching, we identified about 8, continued to do some more research. We looked at what other school districts in the region were utilizing, and at that point, the committee identified 4 programs that we wanted to learn more about. So in the summer of 2018, this past summer, we had 4 companies come, talk to us about their programs, met with the entire committee, spent a lot of time really going through what all that each of the programs could offer. And at that point, we decided on 2 programs that would be piloted this year in our K-5 classrooms. So we have one program called Go Math and another program which is Investigations 3. It's the newest version of the program we started in 2009. We have 2 to 4 teachers on every grade level who are involved in this program. The summer work this summer involved on making sure that all of these programs were aligned to coincide with what the teachers in the other classes are doing, so it's not so different in terms of curriculum. Both of the programs offer some similarities, and what we're really looking for is there's something that can be a cohesive primary resource for us that perhaps could be a little bit more streamlined to what we're doing with our old program and bringing in resources from the outside of that program. So our next steps with the math are to continue through the pilot period, which will be Go Math from September to December, and investigations will go from December through February. And at that point, the committee will come together and make some recommendations on how we can move forward. In the same time period, we'll be looking at any necessary budgetary considerations we may need to take to have in consideration for the 1920 school year if we are going to look at building on our available resources. The other part that I wanted to point out to you, which is unique to Yorktown, I think, and it was a result of a conversation about snow days. And I'm sure you all know that on inclement weather, Ron and Tom really, it's an easy decision to make when you're thinking about safety. It's a hard pill to swallow at times when you realize the time out of school for some of our students. So we were really looking at ways to, what can we provide for students on days where we have a snow day that a parent might want to encourage a student to work on. So we started a process called Snow Day Assignments, and in the spring of 2018, at the Staff Development Day that we had in March, teachers began the process of developing assignments that students can access at home on weather-related school closings. We continued that work on one of our 2 back-to-school days in September. An additional time was provided, and now currently we've had some conversations with principals. What's the process for making this available to students and teachers? And that's kind of where we're at. We're hoping that there is an opportunity for students to be engaged in some learning if they have the facilities at home to do so during a bad weather day, and have an opportunity to stay current on some, or build some extensions into what they're already learning. So that's something new and exciting that we've been working on. So those were the 2 things I just wanted to briefly point out to you. If you have questions, Mary is here and I'm here, and we can certainly answer any questions you have.
Thank you very much, first of all. Mary, thank you for all of your hard work. We love seeing you here. I have a question about, I forgot it was, 10 years ago we started this math program. Those kids are in 11th grade. Was the basis for starting the way we did was for them to think critically. Do we notice that that's happened as they've gotten to 11th grade? Are we seeing the results of what we wanted when we first put in the program?
I remember the first time, probably 4 years ago, middle school math teachers talking about the change in the math students that they were seeing coming up the line, and the students being able to think critically and really understand relationships between numbers, that things weren't just rote. Is there something that you see at your very high-end high school? Come on up, Mary.
Sure. The problem is sometimes once you get to the middle school and the numbers get big, then it's a little more challenging to have the mental math. Ideally, I would love to see it pushed all the way up through 12th grade, as I try to do in my calculus class, but they definitely have a much better number sense leaving 5th grade, going into the middle school, and their fraction sense, they understand, and it's amazing how much they can do in their mind. To be honest, I don't have like statistics if you were to look at it right now. I was forever bragging about the kids. I know that the teachers have gotten even better at teaching the tougher concepts and going deeper, and I know they feel that they understand it better now, and so I know that that's carried on, and that is a big part of what I really wanted to happen as well, is to have the teachers feel better about their math teaching that they're doing.
And don't go anywhere. A lot of the reason why they're feeling much more comfortable about teaching some of these concepts in math is because not only does Mary work with the teachers, she goes in and models how to teach some of the concepts at the K-5 level and really helps the teachers understand how they should be probing and asking questions. So kudos to you.
Right, to go to, student-directed instead of teacher-directed. And I truly believe in my heart that kids learn much better when they're responsible for it and they're struggling, and they'll retain it. If we just sit there and talk at them, they'll remember it for the test, but then they don't take it, and that's what I'm fighting.
And I understand that the game changed partway through your planning, so that didn't help, but that we're seeing some changes means that what we're doing is right or good.
Definitely. We're definitely teaching with understanding, and we're asking the kids to come up. You know, one of the problems with our primary resource is that it didn't have enough rigor for us then, but then that's where we brought in from Engage. We have other resources that we've had district-created stuff, so we feel like we have a good handle on it, but now that we know the next generation standards are basically the same for math, that we want to see what's out there that might make it a little bit easier for the teachers so they have one major program instead of a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So that was why we thought this was a good time.
Terrific. Anybody have questions? Go ahead, Pete.
I'm switching to the snow day assignment. Not that I don't want to talk to you, Mary. The participation at the teacher and student level, is it what you want it to be?
So we are seeing every teacher is creating snow day assignments. What the direction we have given is this is not a graded assignment. This is really an extra assignment for students and parents to have available to them. But every teacher is responsible for creating something that will be available to students on snow days.
At every level?
Every subject, every teacher, every level.
And the only reason I'm asking, with the advancements in technology, my brain is immediately gone to, okay, so how can we bring this into the home to actually get the day out of a student when they're home? Is it possible? Not today, or maybe a year from now, or...
I mean, there are so many moving parts here. One of the moving parts is utilities and power. Quite often when we're closed, there's lost power that happens. So to create a structure that I don't know is necessarily sustainable is something that I'm cautious of, but I think it's all incremental. I think we've made some progress. I don't want to ruin snow days completely. There's an element to a snow day that when you're a child, it's just completely magical. So I don't want to completely remove that element of a snow day from a student. I want them to enjoy the snow day, but also I want there to be options for children who are looking to read or do some math. And many of the resources are digital, and they're digitally available. There'll be some that will be downloadable prior to a snowstorm, so in the event of a power outage, you can download it. But I think it's all incremental. So the short answer to your question is, I don't know if and when we'll get to that point, but I know that we've taken the first steps in that journey.
Well, let Rashmi go first.
It's okay, you can go. My question is just a follow-up to, I think, what Ron said. So are we suggesting that these assignments would be optional if they were looking for work, or is it things that we do and graded and?
No, it's the
first
former.
one.
It's the
Okay.
former. We're looking, and again, it's incremental, and it goes to Pete's point. So is there an end vision at this point? And I think that end vision is evolving.
Yeah.
But it's a first step into snow day assignments and
Right.
seeing if we can make those just a little more productive for students who are looking to get 20 minutes or a half hour of reading where the teacher can have access to see what the child did. So if they're working in a program such as RAS Kids, which is very prevalent in our elementary schools, or IXL Math, which is also available, this teacher actually has access to go in to see which students practiced, how long they spent on, how they did. So it's evolving, it's growing. Right now, it's optional. It's for, hey, here are some resources if you want to practice some of your academic skills during the day.
Yeah, it would be great to get to that end game, but I think, as you said, utility is an issue.
And the joy of a snow day. I don't want to eliminate the joy of a snow day, too.
That's because your kids are still little and want the snow days. Anthony, what did you want to say?
Right, yeah, sometimes we have a lot of snow days, though.
Right.
So the Home Math and Investigation 3 are two separate pilots,
Yes, there's two separate programs.
K through 5.
Yes.
So do they fit in the curricula, and are they separate math, or are they new math? I'm trying to understand what exactly.
So they are published programs, and they are both marketed as if they are working towards the Common Core learning standards. They both have very similar aspects in terms of being inquiry-based. What we're looking to pull apart over the last 9 years, we've felt that although investigation serves its purpose for us and got us to think, our students and teachers, to think more critically about math, as the standards changed, so did our need to have to modify and add and enhance that program. We're looking now to see, is there something more streamlined that could be used more holistically with less need to modify the program moving forward. So we're going to look at things having to do with what are the online tools, what are the parent supports that are available. There are digital supports now in programs where 9 years ago there wasn't a whole lot of digital support being provided through the program. So those are all the pieces we're trying to pull apart.
So when you pilot something, do you specifically take a class and you say, okay, Go Math is going to be for this class this semester or this year, and we're going to try it just in this, like, third grade class?
So there are 2 to 4 teachers on every grade level, K-5, who are piloting, and they will pilot both Go Math, and then the same teachers will pilot Investigations 3, so that as we meet to unpack the experience, we have a consistent representative group from each grade level. You're looking not only did this serve the purposes for our K2 primary, K1 primary learners, but did it also provide enough rigor for our second and third graders? So, you know, you really need the whole K5 representative group to really understand.
When do you realize the pilot?
So the pilot is happening now, September for Go Math. It'll go for 3 months to December.
Right.
In December, we'll switch over to Investigations. The teachers who are involved in the pilot had multiple days of training over the summer with the people from these programs, as well as follow up with Mary. That continues.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask you a question? Whichever program you choose, will it start, like, investigation started in kindergarten and then the kindergarten kids move to first grade? Will it start like that, or will it hit each grade at the same time?
I have a feeling that we will be looking to start each grade at the same time. We're in a much better place with our teachers understanding math and math learning and know what that learning should look like. So I don't think that we're going to need to stagger that implementation moving forward. Now, because we are piloting 2 programs, the only thing we're committed to right now is to continuing to provide a very continuous, rigorous program for our students. If we don't feel like we've got that after these 2 pilots, and what we have existingly in place is still the better option, then we will be open-minded and strategic about next steps.
Okay, terrific. Wonderful.
I have a couple of questions. One, with respect to the 2 programs that you're piloting now, are they being used currently in other districts where you can get some sort of reference?
So part of the research process that we engaged in was to poll the districts surrounding us in Westchester County and some in Putnam, and we were able to see what programs were being used and some comments that were appropriate to the level of modifications or enhancements they might have needed to do. So we do have that information available to us, and we did look at that. We did look at that at administrative level, and we'll share that with the teachers as we move forward.
And when I look at the slide that you created that had all of the years, it started at 2009 and ends at 2017, it was interesting to see that every literally 2 or 3 years, it looks like the standard is being moved. And so what I'm curious is, how is our staff dealing with that? I guess under Mary's leadership and your leadership, how is everybody dealing with that? And what effect is that having on our students in the long run as they get to high school and then beyond? And how are we dealing with that? Because as you look at that, it's every 2 or 3 years.
So the main change was in 2012 with the Common Core. So that was really a main change. Every change or new model of standards after that, there was some change, particularly in the math. It wasn't as if we were starting over from scratch. I feel like in 2012 with the Common Core, that was a big shift in thinking for not only math, but ELA. I think our teachers recognize that we have been in flux with standards in math, in ELA. We have a new framework for social studies, next generation science standards, new art standards. All of that has been within the last 5 years. I think when we look at our curriculum and we talk about how we support teachers in understanding what it is they're supposed to be teaching, these are conversations that take place at every level. They take place at district curriculum council, administrative meetings, principal meetings. Principals have meetings with their teacher coordinators, all about how we are supporting and providing professional development to our teachers to help them. I think that one of our local resources, BOCES, has been phenomenal in support of all of the standards and really helping to unpack that as we move forward. I think people like Mary in the district and all of the other experts that we have, our teachers are they take their job seriously and they take the expectation of the state seriously. So although it's been a little bit of a transition over the last 5 years, I think we're in a good place. And like I said, it was that first jump in 2012 that was the most obvious change to the standards.
I have a question. Actually, my daughter was part of the pilot process for investigations math. So it was interesting to see with two siblings following up right behind her, the evolution and how it was originally implemented. It was actually a great platform to watch as we move forward, and the effect that it had on, a student in 4th grade who was sort of started changing gears a little bit to the younger ones who could adapt a lot more quickly because it was all they knew. So having said that, when we look back at the pilot process, are we changing or did we have any learnings regarding the pilot process or the way we went about choosing investigations? And have we changed anything about how we'll, choose the next program or how we've implemented the pilot process and how we'll choose moving forward?
Do you want to take that, Mary? What did it look like with the pilot search back in 2008-9? And then
We basically looked at probably about 5 or 6 programs, same idea. We had people come in, and then we were supposed to pilot 3, but we piloted 2, and unanimously, the teachers preferred the investigations. So we felt like we really gave them a voice and, to investigate. So that's why we wanted to have everybody participate in both programs so they could get a true feel for their living it. And it's been amazing, ups and downs and all that kind of stuff, and ones that thought they were going to love it, and, so and they're documenting everything, so we'll have a real good field day going through and deciding, which is going to overall, if either one of them are going to be what we want and need for our students.
And I think the fact that the teachers can be so critical in what they're looking at is a testament to how much they have grown in their understanding and teaching of math over the last 10 years. So.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
Lisa, thank you very much. And you thought it was going to be short. All right. We're up to our agenda. We have our personnel agenda. Upon recommendation of the superintendent, a motion that the following be approved. We have, under certified personnel, we have some appointments, additions to the substitute list, regular substitute appointments. We have our other compensation, which are our lane changes and extra credits. Hang on, I'm going through the page, there's a lot. Coaches appointments, co-curricular appointments for the middle school and co-curricular for the high school. And is that it?
Classified.
And then under classified, we have civil service appointments, police officer monitors, a resignation for the purpose of retirement, which is Lana Magro, our wonderful IT assistant, we will miss her, and additions to the superintendent list.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do we have to let Lana go?
I asked her the same thing, and apparently we do. She will be sorely missed. The influence and the role that she plays in our IT department is unbelievable. She has a hand in everything. She's a part of everything, and she is just such a key person to our team.
Yes, we love her. Okay. All right, we are going to delete some policies. Be it resolved that the following policy and regulation be deleted from the policy manual because they are obsolete and unnecessary. 4316, physical education, and its regulation.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then we have first reads, first read on the following policies: 4311.1, display of flag and its regulation, and 4327, homebound instruction. Did anybody have any questions or comments or concerns? Nope. Okay. Board action items, ballot destruction. Whereas on May 15, 2018, the Yorktown Central School District conducted its annual budget vote and election, and whereas the district clerk is currently in possession of the excess unused ballots, defective and voided ballots resulting from such election, and therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Yorktown Central School District orders the destruction of all unused defective and voided ballots resulting from the May 15, 2018 election.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. My question was, we use less than a quarter of the ballots. Do we have to order so many next year? Okay.
Also, unless my math is wrong, it's not been 6 months. So are we waiting? We're waiting till the 6-month period is over? Okay. Just want to make sure we're all on the same page. Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Approval of minutes. A motion to approve the minutes for the October 1st, 2018 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. A motion to approve the treasurer's report for September 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. A motion to approve the claims audit report for September 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. A motion to approve the extra classroom report for September 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Business office, a motion to approve the external auditors' reports and management response letter for the 17-18 fiscal year.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. Budget transfers, a motion to approve the following budget transfers as listed below.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. A lease agreement, resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education authorizes board president to execute the attached lease agreement with the Alliance for Safe Kids commencing July 1st, 2018 and ending June 30th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. A lease agreement with Yorktown CMA, resolved upon recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education authorizes the board president to execute the attached lease amendment number 10 with Yorktown CMA for additional space effective November 1st, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed. We have PIPs. Motion to approve the following Yorktown Congress of Teachers Professional Improvement Program proposals. And then that's it.
So
Just
moved.
5.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed.
Aye.
A license agreement resolved upon recommendation of superintendent. The Board of Education approves the license agreement with Language Testing International, a licensee of the American Council of the Teaching of Foreign Languages, in the amount not to exceed $14,000 for the period of October 5th, 2018 through June 30th, 2019, pending receipt of required insurance documents. A copy of this contract shall be incorporated by reference in the minutes of this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed. A motion to approve, arrange the following placements as of October 22nd, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed. We have a settlement agreement. Be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve the settlement agreement regarding student number 007006164 concerning the 18-19 school year, and be it further resolved that the board does hereby authorize the superintendent of schools to execute such settlement agreement on behalf of the Board of Education.
So moved.
All those in favor? Opposed? We have gifts, grants, and donations. A motion to approve the following gifts, grants, and donations with gratitude from the Yorktown High School, $12 from Your Cause trustee for New York Life Employee Match Program, 1 BAM cello case, a 1 4x4 size cello, a 1 Manhasset music stand, 1 Manhasset music stand shelf from Karen and Kevin Miley, a Verve percussion practice kit and carrying case from the Hunt family for the athletic department, $2,817.18 from the proceeds of a volleyball fundraiser to be donated to the American Cancer Society. At Crompond, $100 from the PTA for a class trip assistance to T-Town. Brookside Forum, dollars from the Brookside PTA for a field trip to the Nutcracker, and $900 from the PTA for a rainforest exploration assembly.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment, anybody wishing to speak? Board comment, Anthony.
Sure. I'll start. Thank you, Dr. Hatter, Lisa, Tom, for the recognition tonight. It was wonderful. The high school, the music was wonderful. The teachers, Lisa, your math was wonderful. With Mary was wonderful. I also want to thank my colleagues, the board members, who are so smart and so nice, which matters to come here every week and do what we do for, I've been doing it for a lifetime, it seems, like a labor of love, but each and every one of you guys is so great to work with. And they're reasonable, and they can take my dumb jokes half the times, but I like to thank each and every one of you. You're fantastic, so thank you.
Pete.
On you.
You cease to amaze me, Anthony. No, and thank you to everyone. This was, it's always nice to be recognized, but we do this because we love doing it, so, but thanks again.
Mike?
Yeah, thank you very much. Wonderful recognition. Also wanted to reiterate to Tom and his staff what a wonderful job you guys do in managing the finances of the district, and it shows in these reports, so thank you.
Freshman?
I think I will just repeat what everyone said. I do want to say thank you. It was great to see our administrators, our students tonight, the youngest members of the Fideli family, our teachers. So, it was beautiful. Thank you.
Again, thank you for a beautiful night. I think one of the biggest joys is to come here and see our students up here fully prepared to be singing, and to think that it's to thank us, but it gives me such pride when I see them. I see 3 teachers up here willing to take on new curriculum. That's not just 3, they aren't 3 subjects that we just sort of threw out there. They were carefully thought about because they all link into something that we're really trying to accomplish, and that's STEAM, which is really at the root of combating many issues like bullying. So, and to see us continuously improving and trying to look for different programs, like when we see Lisa and Mary up here talking about pilots for the math programs, that's what gives me such pride, because when I see all of that coming together at Board of Ed meetings and throughout the district, that's really why we're here. So thank you for thanking us, but I really wanted to say thank you for all the great things that we constantly see, because that's what keeps me going personally.
Lisa?
Okay, so it's
Can
funny,
you pull that closer?
Yeah, so it's
Thank you.
funny that I didn't even put together that tonight was board recognition night or board appreciation night when I was at work today, because I was in court and someone said, oh, what are you doing this evening, or whatever the conversation was. And I said, oh, I have a board meeting. I'm a school trustee. And they said, oh, there's always so much drama and politics involved in that kind of thing. And I said, actually, no, I have to tell you, I really enjoy being around those people. They're really very nice, and they're smart. And I feel like something gets accomplished at every meeting. And then it came here, and not only did I get a basket and a shirt and little gold tags, they sent me. It's almost karma. It's really very cool. So I meant that, what I said today, that it really is an enjoyable experience, and as being the newest member, although I don't feel new anymore, I really do appreciate the opportunity to work with all of you, so thank you so much. And as far as the new, I had no idea about that Husker Discovery class. I'd heard you mention it before, but I didn't know what it was. And having 2 kids in college, I can see how that helps transition them into something that's bigger around them and encourages them to step outside the box and maybe do something and I just think that's fabulous, because school is more than just reading, writing, and arithmetic. It's building a whole person, and I think that's something we focus on, and I just think it's fabulous. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. You don't need to hear it again. You heard it from 6 other people. Thank you. But Tom, I want to thank you. We changed auditors this year, and that's never an easy thing, because you never know the new lens. You're used to the old lens. You know what's expected. But this audit report had nothing different than any other audit report we've ever seen. And so that leads me to think that, and know and understand that you guys have been doing something right all these years, because we can switch auditors and we still have the same results. So thank you very much for all of your hard work. It really shows, and it's the backbone. Ron can't and Lisa can't do what they have to do without your keeping us strong in the financial department. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you. We do have some great people, as you know, who are really top-notch, and we thank the board for allowing us to invest in some of the best and brightest, including our treasurer, Alicia Sigvartson, who herself is a CPA. So thank you so much for your support.
And, we thank you for, thanking us, but thank you for everything you do. It shows, and like Rashmi and everybody else was saying, and we were all saying, the classes you're bringing, they're impressive. And what you're building is impressive, and it's hard to believe you've only been here less than 2 years, Ron and Lisa. It's amazing what you guys have done, so thank you very much. You guys want to say anything, or?
Please, no, Lisa.
I just wanted to acknowledge Ryan, who was here this morning as earlier tonight, our student of distinction, to see where he has come in 2 years. It's very heartwarming, and kudos to Mike, who's in the audience. Deirdre was here earlier, a young student who was with us for a short time at Brookside before we He moved over to a BOCES program, and he is such a success story for us, and congratulations to him and his family, and our thanks to the BOCES staff who have helped us on this journey. Really wonderful. Wonderful.
So I just wanted to make a quick comment, and I'll keep it brief. As our community and certainly our board is aware, the district has been working with Dr. Paul Seversky of SES Study Team LLC to study the enrollment trends that the district can anticipate over the next several years. And Dr. Seversky provided us with a low, medium, and high range estimate of what we can anticipate with regard to enrollment. The low enrollment projection would show a slight decline, the middle range would show us relatively flat, and the high range estimate showed us at over 1,000 students, or upwards of 1,000 students, beyond where our current enrollment resides. And this was all presented last spring at the June 18th Board of Education meeting, so I'm just bringing this back to light. The study has certainly piqued our interest, and we're viewing this as an opportunity to review our current grade level configurations and to look at that from the lens of what's best for children and what model is most appropriate for children educationally. So I wanted to share with the board and with our community this evening that with that comes a conversation about start times and about 36 other variables, some that are readily meeting the eye and others that are a little more subtle, but all require equal attention and equal thought and equal care from our end. And I hope you do understand as a board and certainly our community, this will be a lengthy process as we scrutinize all of those variables to the level of detail that I believe this board has come to expect from the administration, and as our community certainly expects from the administration. We're excited for this process. This morning we had our first meeting with about 16 people, really smart people sitting around a table trying to problem solve around what's best for children. So it's going to be a lot of work as we move forward over the next several months. We'll certainly keep the board updated as developments emerge, and nonetheless, I'm excited to see where the process, how it unfolds.
Thank you.
I'll end there.
Thank you.
We all good? All right, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night, thank you.